Hi, and welcome to another wonderful Sunday here on Citi TV. Scorecard is back on your screens tonight. Now, it's been a really interesting week. Some sad news, some good news. Good news is that Manchester United lived up to their billing, at least according to my good friend, Coach Christopher Nimley. They unleashed Antony in a game where Arsenal were humbled. We'll be getting to that in a bit. Ampem Darkoa Ladies, they were all the way in Côte d'Ivoire in the Wafu Zone B qualifiers, seeking to make a name for themselves by qualifying to the CAF Women's Champions League. Bielsa Ladies were having none of that. They gave Ampem Darkoa Ladies a proper humbling in that game, and so that's how it broke down. There was a Milan derby as well. It was literally Rafael Leao taking Inter Milan to school in that particular encounter. And then, of course, a GOAT retired this particular weekend. Some people don't agree. They have an agenda. It doesn't matter. A GOAT retired this weekend. She has chewed a lot of grass. In fact, she has chewed more grass than anybody else. So that's what it is. Serena Williams was up in the US Open. She didn't win her game, but she just says that it's time to hang up the racket. So we'll be getting into a lot of that and more on the show tonight. Let's take a quick break here. When we come back, I'll be introducing my guests, and then we'll get tonight's conversation started. Hi, and welcome back to Scorecard here on Citi TV. My good friends are in the studio looking all very, calm and unbothered. Coach, Charlie, what's going on?
No more. Oh, Charlie. Look, I promise the listeners that the Antony remix is already constructed. So you decide, should I sing the remix now or at the end of the program?
I mean, give us a teaser.
Nebunaba Ayezo Aye Odini Nano Akamakuma Odini Nano Akamakuma Antony Edo Recheche
Chale
Antony
Antony
At the end of the program.
Chale. That is the joy that 100 million signing can bring to your team, especially when he scores on his debut. Let's start off with some local stuff. Daniel, Charlie, what's going on?
Charlie.
Antony! Antony!
On a flare!
Oh my goodness. You mean the showboating, the flair, the
Straight from
technique?
Sao
See,
Paulo.
there was a ball that he took Zijenko and then Gabriel followed him to the corner flag.
Yeah, and then
Instead of them concentrating
and then he
on the ball,
backflicked
they
it.
were looking at his feet. They were all away. Ericsson should have just completed that slap to the back of the net for them to see proper football.
You really misbehaved today. I have been observing your exploits from afar. I mean, everything you said literally fell in place like clockwork. So I can imagine. Daniel, I mean, what's up?
I'm very good. I'm very excited.
I'm good, man.
Oh, yeah.
Let's start off with some local football. Let's start off with some women's football specifically. Ampem Darkoa Ladies, they were in Côte d'Ivoire. They were hoping to win their final game of the Wafu Women's Zone B qualifiers to make it to the CAF Women's Champions League. Bielsa Ladies, like I said earlier, were having none of that. Now, Bielsa had basically won every game of theirs comfortably coming up to this level. They were winning 6-0, 5-0. Everybody was literally getting swept aside. And Ampem Darkoa thought that they would be the exception, but it really didn't happen. Let's take those visuals here. We'll come back and then we'll get some perspective in the studio. Darkoa Ladies conceded 3 goals in that first half, actually. Very unstable performance from them. Bielsa stressing why they were largely believed to be the best team at the competition. Now, look at that goal. Goalkeeper was lobbed, was nowhere to be found. And Ampem Darkoa Ladies 3-0 in the first half, by which time the wind had actually gone out of their sails. Look at these goals that were conceded. I think some of the goals conceded were unpardonable, very shabby defending. These are not the type of goals you want to concede when you want to make it to a competition that is as competitive as the CAF Women's Champions League. Let me take your thoughts, Daniel. Let me start with you on this one. After Hazaka's Ladies, our expectations had been heightened. I thought that Ampem Darkoa Ladies had what it took to be able to see out this header. I mean, worst case scenario, I thought it would be a competitive encounter, but it was anything but competitive.
Look, to be honest, Bielsa Ladies were favourites heading into this one. But based on their performances throughout the competition and how they had set up, I thought that Ampem Darkoa will go into this one and be a bit compact.
Okay.
Prevent them from playing their football, prevent them from playing that free-flowing football that they've been noted for throughout the competition. But it was almost as if Ampem Darkoa tried to match them boot for boot, which was never going to be successful because they clearly have the superior players and they've been with their head coach for a while now. He understands the team, he knows them. They were blowing everybody apart in the group stages. And for somebody to set such a precedence, I feel like respect should have been given to the opposition heading into the final. For you to concede 3 goals in the first 45 minutes in the final is just, it's absolutely abysmal. It's unforgivable because you give yourself no opportunity coming into the second half. And if you watch that second half performance, it was literally just Bielsa playing the ball around. They knew they had won. They knew Ampem Darkoa had nothing in the tank to offer a comeback. And it was very disappointing. The fact that your hopes of making a Champions League qualification ends in the first 45 minutes. And it was basically their setup. As a coach, he should take blame for this because the setup was just unforgivable. They were just too open. You look at the goalkeeping there in the second goal. The fact that what was the keeper doing coming out of the post? It was simple communication. Some of these things will happen when proper coaching, proper structure is in place. I'm not going to say it's not like it's a hindsight analysis where you're going to blame everybody for what has gone on. But when you offer such a showing throughout the competition, the first 3 group games, how compact they were, looked defensively. In the semi-final, they took it 1-1 through extra time. It was extremely difficult in extra time, but that defense stood resolute. You go into penalties, you win it, you enter the final. Give yourself the best possible chance in the game, not to go out in that first 45 minutes, look flat, and then concede 3 goals, because at that point, it was done and dusted.
Let's get to some other stuff. It wasn't all doom and gloom for Ghana as we were outside the country. We were in Nigeria, where it looks like the Moshood Abiola Stadium has become some type of Ghanaian fortress lately, because the Galaxies won 2-0 here, needed to be able to hold their nerve to be able to make it to the CHAN competition, which Ghana has missed out on for the past couple of editions. And they lost the game in regulation time 2-0, but penalties shined on Ghana. 5-4 is how it ended. Ghana winning on penalties. Can you believe that? It was absolutely amazing. So Ghana defeated Nigeria 5-4 on penalties. Coach, Arno Walker has done it.
Yes, congratulations to Arno Walker and his technical team. Look, it wasn't easy. Like we rightly saw.
2 late goals.
Especially, no, I think the second goal came very late. I think the 94th
minute, literally the end of the game.
I think that was where the boys switched off. Because by then, I'm very certain the timekeeper on the touchline of the Ghanaians would have told the players that we are almost there. So when the message came that, look, we are almost, that is where everybody needed to be focused. Look at that goal. It was a direct throw in. And shockingly, the Nigerians had not overcrowded our 18-yard box. If we could go back to that second goal again, you see. There was a direct throw in, one person flick, and the one who struck the ball, he was the only person in and among about 4 or 5 Ghanaian defenders. All that they needed to do was one person stand in front of him, one person stand behind him. You keep him in the middle of the two. So you brush him off, and then someone else would deal with it. But having said that, look, this team showed super character.
Look, this is what you're talking about.
This is what I'm talking about. Come on, man.
And that's some very poor marking. The defender literally just stood behind him and allowed him to do what he wanted to do.
In front of him. If you are going, then there should be a Ghanaian in front of them. So they keep the striker in the middle, so that he wouldn't have a full blast of the ball like he did. But having said that, they showed proper character. Look, I have seen teams collapse after this. Because they saw the finish line.
And collapsed right
at the finish line. So for them to have put themselves together, go through the penalty kicks, score 5 out of 5, I believe credit must be given to the technical team. And from the way they took their penalty, it was very, very clear that Arno Walker, Prof. Ogum, they had prepped. Look, they had planned for it. They saw that as a possibility. They didn't look at the 2-0 lead that we had to say that, come on, there's no way these guys these Nigerians are going to put 2 or 3 past us. We've won the game already. But for them to have prepped, they've got the belief, the confidence. The Nigerian goalkeeper had no chance on any. So too did our goalkeeper. He had no chance on any of the Nigerians' kick. Unfortunately for them, it was not meant to be.
Against the crossbar.
Smash one against the crossbar. Look, I'm so delighted. I have been vindicated. I have said time and time again that we should give Anna Walker the opportunity for him to save Mother Ghana. Look at, I think he belongs to the old breed. He was
with Bashir Hayford.
Yeah, he belongs to the Bashir Hayford breed because he was part of them. The younger breed should look up to him and get closer to him and learn from him. My only worry is that I hope and pray that our league will be made so lucrative that these boys will see the need to stay. And they should be told by their teams, by the people at the FA, by Anna Walker and Co., that if you were to stay and go to Algeria, you stand a better chance of being exposed to the world and then trying to make good money before leaving for greener pastures. I'm so delighted, and I salute Anna Walker and the team. I salute the Ghana Football Association as well. I'm not going to take anything away from them, because if this thing had not qualified, I would have come for them. No two ways about that. So once they have qualified, I saw a video of the FA president, Keto Kreku, together with the minister on Facebook, and the mood, that level of jubilation was so there for everybody to see.
We haven't been there for such a long time.
Yeah, we've missed the last three editions. So it is clear that if you put your house in order, and you are very fair and firm in the selection, it will, the result will come. It's clear.
It's clear.
Because was there any good player who needed to be in this team that is not in the team?
This was an Avengers of the local
This is the best we've got. So you see, when it came to player selection, nobody complained. Apart from the Kotoko boy who left. Imoro and Mudasiru, who left before we even played against the Benin. It was clear that this was the best talent we had in the country, in the local scene. So once every player was called, there we are. Where are we? We are in Algeria. So be fair and firm and be honest. Beyond the sky is your limit.
I like Anna Walker. I think he's very even keeled. He's never overly excited or animated about going down. I think that sort of temperament also oozes onto the players.
Exactly.
At that point, Nigeria had all the momentum.
Exactly.
They could easily have gone on to win that game. But congratulations to the Black Galaxies, Dr. Tony Obe, Anna Walker, Prosper Nate Ogum, the players, Efri Ebani and Co. Congrats to you guys for making it. Let's turn our attention to the English Premier League. Merseyside derby is how match week 6 started. Liverpool are in a lot of trouble to begin the season. So 1-1 is how that game ended. Pickford, eventually the man of the match. Coach, I said goalless. Pickford eventually emerged man of the match. Like nothing was getting beyond him. Like literally nothing. He was in that type of form. Mohamed Salah came alive near the end of the game, but eventually that was also tipped onto the post.
Unless you don't want to be honest and sincere, there are issues with this Liverpool team. We all didn't see this coming. It's become very, very clear that this team, shockingly to me though, Thiago was brought in there to do something very different. But rather, he's become so important to the extent that if he's not there, they are unable to control football games. Yesterday, one thing that was lacking, Jurgen Klopp himself, I just don't know what he's thinking. Maybe he's beginning to outthink the issues. You remember we did a game on radio and I spoke about the Fabinho, Elliott and Carvalho partnership in midfield. And I was of the view that that is where they are going to struggle. And the moment Onana got through the bones of Carvalho and slowed him down, everything just went dead. To be honest with you, Everton should have scored first. Because they had the better opportunities in that first half. Everything Liverpool did, it was reactionary. They responded to things that Everton had done already. Now, the Liverpool manager, he should forget about chasing Arsenal and Man City. He should forget about that. He should look at the thing game by game. I think Jurgen Klopp is too focused on what is happening at the top. And therefore, he's putting too much pressure on the team to go out and deliver. Come on, guys, we are better than this. What is happening? You better go out. No, the moment you start doing that, you're going to up the tension, up the pressure on the players. Look at Alexander-Arnold yesterday. He was completely, by his very high standard, we know defensively he's very poor. But those little 20 yards, 70 yards passes, yesterday,
nothing was happening for him.
Went dead.
Nothing was happening.
And again, he didn't start with Robertson, which in my view, I would have done. He brought on Robertson later in the game, but still there was no control. Again, look, the Diaz boy, he's so different to Sadio Mane. For him, when he's on the move, he's going, heads are down, and he's just going. And for that reason, he's going to cost Liverpool. If that was Mane, most of those runs, as he went on the run, he'll be raising his head and picking the pass. And moving as well. But Diaz, he runs, and even if there's Salah or there's Nunes there for him to just play the pass.
And that's one of the things I'm noticing about Liverpool's play this season. There's a very limited movement up front for them. And so opponents literally find it very easy to just camp in the box and wait for them.
Because you know what they will present at you, then you can deal with them. So look, there are issues. But look, without taking any credit from Everton, let's call a spade a spade. There are issues with Liverpool, and the earlier they fix that, both defensively, they don't look right. In the midfield, they don't look right. Maybe you had some very good news for them yesterday when you told them that Thiago Alcantara is 4 or 5 days away.
Yeah, he's 5 days away from returning to training.
Maybe when he comes, he will be the spine. He will bring back life into the rest of the team.
Or the next 5 days till he's gone again.
Then that's it.
Daniel, quick thoughts on Liverpool, but also touch on Everton for me and what they did well yesterday. In fact, they've been doing things well at least the last 2 or 3 game weeks. It's not culminated in wins for them, but they look like they are trying to put in some efforts.
Look, we all knew Everton had problems before the start of the season, but I've been impressed with their display, honestly. The results are not going their way, but you can tell that Lampard is getting some things right. Yesterday, like this, he recognized where Liverpool's weakness is, and that's the midfield, and he got his midfield combination right. His substitutions were on point, very timely. When you saw Klopp make changes in bringing Firmino in, pushing attackers onto Everton, as soon as he did that, Lampard brought in Gana Gueye just to come and calm things down. And it was like a chess match. When Klopp moves, Lampard moves. And he was reading the game very well. You see, he knew his team wasn't going to go out and bust the possession. But in his front line, in Mope and Demary Gray especially, these are guys who are quick and will be able to counter the slow pace of the Liverpool centre-backs. And he did it so well, I was really impressed with him. Onana, it took him 1-2 games to settle in the Premier League, but yesterday's performance, you could tell clearly that this guy is ready.
Onana is settled.
This guy is ready. He's a beast. And he loved the occasion. He relished the occasion. He took it upon himself. He understood the assignment, and he went out. What I'm talking about, the Cavalli tackle, knee on knee clashes is normal. It's sad that Cavalli is a small boy, he can't take these things, but he will grow. When he goes to the gym and he grows, one day when he hit him, he will not be crying like a baby. But look, look,
I can't
honestly, no, it's true. Look, honestly, I was really impressed with Lampard. Some of these things, it just comes down to the fine margins of quality. If he had quality players, look at that Mope chance. That would have been a goal. Unfortunately, they don't have players like this. And you see, it also goes down to the fine margins. I say it again. You lose somebody like Richarlison, somebody the quality of Richarlison, and who do you bring in? Mope. You deserve the chance that he's missing. Because it's true. That is poor.
And they spent substantive money on Mope.
Yeah, and look, that transfer was very funny for me because Brighton looked at their data, they looked at Mope, and they saw that this guy is not somebody going to take us forward. He misses too many chances. He was the reason why Brighton were taking
drawing
1 point instead of 3,
True.
0 points instead of 1. And these things, some of these things, you need to watch it. But look, Liverpool have serious problems. When Darwin Núñez was coming, I said that because of his difference in profile, it was going to affect the Liverpool front three. And you can tell this season, Salah is a bit too isolated out wide. And for me, you look at the front three, and he's the best finisher in their team.
Yeah.
The most potent goal scorer, the most dangerous person in that front three. But they are almost making him a creator. And if you look at the stats, that's what's happening. Because Salah has created the most chances this season.
Yeah.
He's out wide, and his job is like to feed them. And I'm asking myself, you have a number 9 who is coming, he's not used to the league like this. If you watch his styling in the Portuguese league, he also has the ability to hold that play and bring in guys. So why don't you play Salah a bit closer to him to be bouncing the ball off him and taking off those loose balls? So it's something that Klopp needs to work on. But just a fun fact, Klopp's 7th season is always worrisome. It happened in Dortmund.
Yeah.
In January, they were in the relegation zone. They ended up in 7th place. And the way they started, I will not be surprised if it happens again.
The 7th season curse. Jurgen Klopp is going through it with Liverpool. I just want to give special shouts to Amadou Onana. Like, you are 20 years, 21 years.
And Ben, quickly before I forget, consistency.
Yeah.
We need some consistency in VAR. You can't lift your leg and stamp somebody.
You mean is it a Van Dijk?
The Van
card?
Dijk.
I think
That was a red card.
As clear a red card as possible. And you see, if you encourage these things, honestly, players feed off these things. They look at it, okay, fine. Van Dijk wasn't given a red card. And to think that not to be a red card.
Yeah. That was definitely a red card. Let's take our first break here on the show. When we come back, we have more Premier League action for you on Scorecard. Stay with us. Welcome back to Scorecard here on Citi TV. My name is Benjamin Nketsia. I'm chatting with my good friends Daniel Koranteng and Coach Christopher Nimley. Let's get to the English Premier League and stay there. Tottenham Hotspur were up against Fulham in the London derby. Tottenham managed to maintain their unbeaten start to the season. They won this particular game by 2-1. Yes, so Tottenham holding their nerve there, getting the 3 points. Coach, you said that you still don't think Tottenham are title contenders. They remain the only unbeaten team. No, Manchester City are still unbeaten, I believe. But Tottenham still are unbeaten this season. They are still in the upper echelons of the league. They look very resilient as things stand.
Yes, and that is very typical of Antonio Conte's team. He's an Italian manager who believes in the Catenaccio way of doing things. So one thing that is fundamental to his philosophy is to ensure that his teams are very difficult to beat. Yeah. So he's gotten, and then he should be he's blessed actually by having Hurricane, Son Heung-min, Richarlison. These are proper outlets. These are ball-playing, Kulusevski. These are ball-playing, forward-thinking players. So if they are part of the jigsaw, then it simply means that if you can defend holistically as a team, then you can get them to go on the ascendancy. But the reason why I am still very skeptical is because of the performance I saw against Chelsea.
Okay.
I think it will come down to those big games. The game against, they didn't lose against Chelsea, but Chelsea were very wasteful on that day. Chelsea, like we said, more or less suffocated them. They couldn't breathe. But at the end of the day, they got something. And one may argue that you don't need to, if you want to win the league, you should be used to winning football in a very ugly manner. Games. And you want to credit that. But look, embedded in the DNA of this team is not a team that is used to winning titles. I said again that because of the manager, you want to look at them a bit differently.
Yeah.
But the manager, again, is on record to have said that they will need 4 more players before he believes that they can go out there and compete. Maybe not this season. If they are patient and they back Antonio Conte, I think he will get them to the promised land. In this game like this that I watched, we all knew that no matter how stubborn Fulham as a team will show up, is at the White Hart Lanes, Spurs should have the belief, they should have the quality to win the game. And I wasn't surprised they did. But at the end of the day, they can only take it game at a time.
Yeah.
If that is the approach, then of course, they will give themselves every chance. But as to whether they can win it ahead of Man City, ahead of Arsenal, I'm calling Arsenal because of where they are on the league table now, ahead of Chelsea themselves, because I think Thomas Tuchel have addressed some major problems in the Chelsea team.
Yeah.
The Aubameyang signing, the Zakaria signing, I think will go in there and fix some very eminent problem that needed solving. So if all those teams were to find their chemistry, I think you have to look beyond Spurs. I don't think Spurs will be the team.
I'll come back to that. Let me read a few messages. Abeku from Kaswa Budumburam says that the standard of refereeing in this league is absolutely abysmal. The most watched league all over the world, and all we can talk about at the end of a game is which big calls the referees got wrong. And that's with VAR, which is supposed to make things easier. It's worse. Of course, this one says, of course, Daniel was going to talk about the VVD incident. Why not? Mr. Only see what is wrong with Liverpool. Abe Kusak again says that Ten Hag killed Arsenal with that Ronaldo sub. Their defense pressed higher, thinking they didn't need to worry about the ball over the top. We finished them with angled runs from deep to beat their outside trap. Superb by Ten Hag, you say. This one here says, good evening, Ben. I can now take a deep breath because my Man United is now playing like the United we know. Ten Hag Jr. from Tantra Hills. This one here is from Ademola from Oyibi. Says that first time in my life I heard a Ghanaian coach giving credit for the good performance and success of a team to his assistants. Okay, I think you're talking about Anna Walker there. This one here is from Kwame Ayat inside Kwabenya. I support Arsenal, but I'm a huge Antony fan and I'm happy he scored. Regards to Christopher Nimley. This one here also from Amazing in Tamale says that good evening. Sunday night isn't complete without scorecard. Great minds, Danny K, the Oracle, before the game predicted 3 goals for Man United. And yes, indeed, he had it right. Please ask coach the advantage of starting a debutant like what happened today with Ten Hag trusting in Antony by starting him. I thought he would have started from the bench. Okay, so do keep your messages coming. I'll read a few more of them in a bit. Let's go to Stamford Bridge. Chelsea Football Club were up against West Ham in another London derby. The game ended in very, very controversial circumstances. Yes, so this is the decision that has everybody talking over the weekend. Let me start with you, Daniel. Let me start with you. I started with Coach the last time. Quick one. Now, Mendy is rushing out of his goal area.
It's a goal.
Right?
It's a goal.
It's a goal.
It's a goal.
Why? But how does the referee watch this again? He has consultants in the VAR room. He watches this at close range and still decides that that's an infringement on the goalkeeper.
We talk about consistency. Okay? When we've seen decisions like this, and we've seen goals given, and the explanation is it's a contact sport. By all means, you expect these things to happen. If a striker is going for the ball and the goalkeeper is coming for the ball, whoever wins it, by all means, there will be some degree of contacts. Even when the striker wins the ball, okay, goalkeeper touches him a bit, ball goes into the net. It's a goal.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If the striker comes in, and you see, my point is, I would have said it was a foul had maybe Bowen's stats been on Mendy. He jumped over Mendy, and in coming down,
and he was literally trying to avoid him.
His trailing leg grazes Mendy's what's his name, shoulder or arm. Number 2, Mendy didn't come out to catch the ball.
Yep.
If Mendy had caught the ball,
yeah,
and Bowen's actions caused him to fumble the ball and Kone got it, that is a foul. But he came out and parried the ball right into Kone's feet. The player's trailing leg grazes you, and the ball is put in the back of the net, and some way, somehow, is given as a foul on the goalkeeper. Okay, then per this precedence, then any time an opposing team scores a goal and there's any sort of contact on the goalkeeper, it's supposed to be a foul.
Yep.
Arsenal faced Aston Villa on Wednesday night. Douglas Luiz scored a goal where Aston Villa had a defender on the line, right on Ramsdale, around him. Ball goes in, he enters the pool. It wasn't given. And the explanation given on Wednesday night was, it's a contact sport. Some of these things happen. And he didn't foul Ramsdale in any way. So it's as simple as that. If they are saying this is a goal, then let's see consistency. Let's see that when there's a corner played and the keeper tries to touch the ball, he misses it and somebody touches his hand, it's a foul. As soon as you touch the goalkeeper, it's supposed to be a foul. And that would be absolute nonsense because this is a contact sport. He didn't have his stats on him. Mendy didn't try and catch the ball and Bowen hit him and the ball went loose. Mendy clearly came out and punched the ball into space. And you see, some of these things, when you look at it, they can only do it to West Ham. I'm very sure that if this was Chelsea versus Man City or Chelsea versus Man United, they will not take this thing. Or Chelsea Liverpool, they will not take this thing. They can only do it to West Ham United because it's David Moyes. What is he going to do? Because aside that, I can't see any explanation as to why. And you see, I watched this game with Chelsea fans and they admitted, some of these things happen.
They said it is the first time a decision has gone in their favor.
So which means it is an admittance. That
I mean,
the referee
some
decision-
Chelsea fans
Yeah.
were putting their hands through the flame. They say, no, this was a good call by the official.
Because look, I can imagine if it had gone the other way around,
Yep.
if they had scored such a goal and the goal had been
And had been
disallowed.
ruled out.
Oh my
Hell would have
goodness.
broken loose.
Yes,
Hell
agenda.
will have broken loose.
There's an
to
agenda
be honest
against
with you.
Chelsea.
But at the end of the day, I mean, VAR, we should have some consistency in whatever they do.
I just think it's terrible that you have like 4 or 5 people
But you see,
in the back
even
room,
in this,
and then
I don't blame VAR because the referee was called. You come have a look at it.
exactly
Come and look at it. What did he see?
slow motion, slowed it down, watch the different
Clearly,
angles.
like Koranteng said, there was nothing of the sort. This leg had already gone past Mendy.
Yeah.
And the trailing leg was even jumping. He wasn't even stamping on him again. And he had jumped. And Mendy's decision making was poor. He just came and then punched the ball. But look, I think on the whole, it was a good game of football.
It was.
It was super.
West Ham
super-
needed a response of some sort. I mean, I thought that this was going to be a catalyst performance for them because it was going to be 2-2, but in the end, VAR was cruel. It was yanked away from them. Ooh, I'm sure they will pick them. So David Moyes didn't hold back though. He said a lot of very
So this is
unpalatable.
rotten. He said it's rotten.
Say rotten refereeing from one of the people who's supposed to be elite. I don't think there's any elite official in the APL these days, but that's just my opinion. Let's move on to the game that was much talked about. What we were all waiting for. It was. I didn't think it was going to be Antony's debut. Even if it was going to be his debut, I thought he would come off the bench. I mean, at most. But Ten Hag had different ideas. Perhaps he thought that Antony had gone through pre-season. He had played a few matches for Ajax as well. Arsenal were hoping to preserve their 100% record for the season. United said, not here, not today, and certainly not at Old Trafford. Well. Manchester United humbling Arsenal at Old Trafford, reminding them who the boss is. Let me just read a few messages and I'll take some thoughts in the studio real quick. This one here says that, this is Kobina Ijiri from Dansoman again. He says, Man United's game against Brentford. I told someone that I don't believe in a coach's style or play or philosophy, but I believe in tactics. Greetings to my coach, Numo Nimley. This one says, Ben, this Akatapoli from Suhum. Hey. Says, gradually we are finding our feet. God willing, we will shift these players away from Maguire, Shaw, Bissaka. We need qualified reinforcements of players like Gakpo, Vlahovic, De Jong in our team next season. Antony is humble, waiting to torment Chelsea players. Okay. This one here, United should not get too excited because they won't make it to the top 4. Fingers from Olebu with that one. This one here says, I'm sending my message before the show begins. Charlie. It says, on the West Ham VAR decision, I remember someone saying Kukurea should have cut his hair if he didn't want it pulled. The West Ham player too should have jumped when he was about to crash into Mendy. Me, I admit that VAR has its issues, but let us not be biased because it is not our team. Interesting thoughts there. Seth from Kumasi says, Antony, coach more fire. Ayele Ise. This one here says, Gabriel Jesus plays more like a midfielder than a striker. Edward from Achimota with that one. This one says, good evening. Best from Nigeria. I'll stand up and clap for the king of qualifications, but can't win a match in the group stage. I think you're talking about the Galaxies. This one also talks about, you're talking about Ampem Darkoa Ladies. Says, my regards to coach and the entire United fan base all over the world. Scorecard makes my Sunday evenings very interesting. Sadiq from Tamale with that one. Oga Prince from Ashaiman says, tell Danike, please tell coach that Yanum have gone to buy John the Baptist, Father Zachariah to the team. And the United win is important, but the man on the touchline is very serious, okay? Wolfred from Osu says, the player I'm most impressed with is Scott McTominay. He's clearly learning. City Sports have made Ochale a household term in Ghana. Good job, guys. This one here says, hey, Nketsia, without Scorecard, my evening would not have been spiced up. Good show, guys. Isaac from Spintex. And then this one here, it says the 7th year isn't the issue. Klopp and his board are for being stingy. Liverpool isn't getting a top 4 with these performances. They are definitely losing in Naples. We're talking about the Champions League there. This one says, unbeaten indeed. What United hate is unbeaten record. We go douse I'm sharp or war from Tamale. Let me come into the studio. Coach!
No more.
Oh, Charlie.
You see, I told you something on Sports Panorama.
Yeah.
Okay? Igba, egbu.
Oh, Charlie. For the uninitiated, what does that mean?
Igba, egbu. You see the way my mouth they go, Igba, egbu. Oh, Charlie. No more. Look, for the uninitiated, it simply means that there was only one possible result.
There will be only one outcome.
Never in doubt.
Never in doubt. Igba, egbu. That is what we saw. I said it here. That, look, Arsenal saying, it is time that you learn a bit of history.
Hey.
When they said they are on form, there was a time they went unbeaten. In that unbeaten run that season, they didn't beat Man United. They drew home and away.
Yeah.
The unbeaten continued to the next season. It got to 49. 49.
Yeah.
They brought the 49 to Old Trafford. We cleared them. Chelsea, they went 39 unbeaten. We cleared. What we hate is unbeaten coming to Old Trafford.
You mean like what my texter said? United don't like unbeaten
We don't
record.
like that nonsense.
Don't bring your things
Absolute rubbish. What is that? Stop that. Absolute rubbish. We won't lose. You won't lose for where? Old Trafford. You have to behave. So they were brought down to reality. Humbled. Look, I knew that Arsenal will come, they will play. Let's learn a bit of football here. It is not all the time that you have a team dominating possession that means that
They are dominating the game.
They are in control of the game. No. There are times where you need not to.
You've always said
But if you've got your tactics right
Yeah.
and your defensive shape is right,
you don't need to have
you
the
don't
ball.
need to have the ball. And I blame Arteta for Arsenal losing this game today. Look, in that second half,
Yeah.
first 15 minutes, they came at United. The equalizing goal was bound to happen, and it happened. In a game of football, we always say that a team is most vulnerable just after scoring.
yeah.
So once they equalize, what he should have gotten them to do was to calm down and drop the tempo. But go watch the game again. After
went
they
chasing the
equalized,
game.
They went chasing. 1 minute after, 2 minutes after, 3,
It was
4.
relentless pressure.
In the 5th minute,
Counter-attack.
the counter just went, and then they went back. Then they started chasing all over again. Tactically, I think Ten Hag got it spot on. Very, very spot on. The only problem was that it got to the stage where I thought he should have introduced Casemiro a bit earlier, so that he
I
would
was
have.
about to come to that, but you finished.
He should have introduced him a bit earlier, but he didn't. But he waited. When the team had that sort of advantage, that was where he brought him in. Look, for those who watch Antony today, they have not seen anything yet. The American man said, "You ain't seen nothing yet, boy."
You mean you ain't seen nothing
Anything yet? Koranteng, stop that.
I can't stop.
You ain't
You
seen.
ain't seen anything yet, man. You ain't seen anything yet. There'll be more of such things. And it is going to happen on a regular basis. Regularly. You have to accept it.
But look at his temperament in his debut game.
You see, Sapalo Gbeke.
Yeah. He's been hungry for the big stage for a long time.
Sapalo. Have you been to Sapalo before?
Charlie.
It's grushi, only grushi. No more. That's where he comes from.
He comes from a very rough
Area.
neighborhood. Yeah.
So when he's gotten such an opportunity, God has blessed him and he's come to Old Trafford to play football. Jinjenko and Co. What are they doing in front of him? Oh yeah, you just look at the placement. Confidence placement.
Let's see that. Let's see that
Go
goal
back
again.
and show
Let's
that
see
goal.
that goal again if we can. Antony,
Absolutely
the 100
brilliant.
million man scoring on his debut.
Absolutely brilliant.
It was just
Brilliant
cool
finish.
and like very collected.
Brilliant finish.
Yeah.
And then just a quick comment on this Arsenal people. We are sitting here in
Look at this again.
Look at
He
this.
says, "Give the ball to me."
Look at the place.
Didn't take an extra touch. Just open up his body.
And just he knew what he had to do.
That's just very
Look at the
class
celebration.
for me. Somebody would take, and I promise you, Bukayo Saka would have taken an extra touch if it was him on this ball.
What a sweet goal.
You see?
Yeah.
So again, it's so simple. Odinino.
Oh, Charlie.
Akamakuma.
Oh, Charlie.
Odinino.
Oh.
Akamakuma.
Oh.
Odoedo,
Charlie.
Recheche. I want to know where the what Antony. Oh man, you are here, Recheche. No more remix said, you know.
You mean Manu Ayede?
Che. Oh, no more. I'll be no more.
Daniel, quick thoughts. Antony's debut performance. I mean, were you surprised when you saw Ten Hag actually start Antony in this game? Because I thought we would see him. I didn't think the manager was going to start him. Just touch on that for me.
I wasn't surprised. Why? Because Antony has already played. He spent the whole preseason.
Yeah.
Reported very early for Ajax. Played, I think, almost 3 matches in preseason. Then he started the first 2 games of the season. So he's already been playing competitive football. He's already fit. Number 2, he already understands the Ten Hag system.
Mm-hmm.
He knows exactly what is required
so
of
you
him.
mean the understanding meant that he didn't need
go
any
through
orientation
period. He knew exactly what to do. And you see, per what United wanted to do today, and that is typical Ten Hag, overload one side, isolate, and have that winger come onto and attack the fullback. It was only Antony who would be able to do that. Elanga on the right-hand side doesn't possess that skill. Sancho himself on that right-hand side would be a bit limited. So he needed that left footer to give Zinchenko the problems. And you could see it limited the amount of times Arsenal progressed down the left-hand side.
Yeah.
Because anytime Antony was isolated, it meant Martinelli also had to drop back. And if you saw today, Dalot, although he did very well, he didn't have a lot to do. Because it was mostly Arsenal were playing on Saka's side. And that's basically because of the threat of Antony down the right-hand side. So for me, I wasn't too surprised. I was really impressed with United's defensive organization.
Yeah.
Arsenal disappointed me. Why? Because they didn't take advantage of their moments. When they were on top, I think they play the extra pass, and sometimes it's very unnecessary.
They dance, just take the sting out of the attack.
You see, Arsenal are obsessed with scoring the perfect goal.
It's Bukayo Saka.
And there's nothing. Bukayo Saka and Odegaard. I absolutely love Odegaard. But sometimes you have to let go. Yeah. Sometimes you need to shoot. When they
takes an extra touch.
Always looking for that extra pass. And you see, the perfect goal doesn't exist. If you are playing a big match like this, you have to take advantage of some of these split-second decisions. And it was quite disappointing they didn't do that. United picked their moments perfectly. And you have to give credit to Ten Hag. I was delighted. The introduction of Cristiano Ronaldo, it was a perfect timing. It brought presence. Timing. It just reminded the Arsenal defense that there was the greatest player of all time is on the pitch. You can't fool around. He was tracking back when he needed to track back. He was sparking the press. Something that Rashford
was pressing. I was shocked.
I was really impressed with the performance. You can just tell it's a matter of time when he regains full fitness.
Daddy will be in full business.
He's not done yet.
To those of you watching out there, coach says that as far as Antony is concerned, you ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't seen nothing yet. Stay with us here on Scorecard. We have more action from the Spanish La Liga, from Serie A, and also Serena Williams. Stay with us. Welcome back to Scorecard here on Citi TV. Let's take the action to Villa Park, where Aston Villa Football Club have been struggling for a bit. Wins have become very scarce in that side of town. They were facing Manchester City. Honestly, I was expecting this to be an absolute pasting. Well, they had ideas of their own. Big ups to Steven Gerrard. Managed to hold his own against Manchester City. Well, Steven Gerrard was, trying to hold on to his job. So you would understand. Big performance from him. Coach, Manchester City missed some very uncharacteristic chances on the day.
Yeah, they'll be disappointed. Without a doubt. I think they will look at this and say, look, this was 2 points drop. Yeah. Without a doubt. On the day we did the game, they were by far the better team. Aston Villa, I think they had just one shot on target. And that was the one that ended up in the back of the net. And if you look again, Kyle Walker will look back at that first half opportunity. All he needed to do was to pass the ball for Haaland to
use that.
And then you just shot the ball by heart, as if you are not thinking. And at the end of the day, I think if they had scored that in the first half, the second goal would have been a cushion. There would be no coming back for Aston Villa. Once he blew that, you look at that and say, look, it's obviously a 2-point drop.
2 point drop. Daniel, just quick thoughts on that.
Yeah, very disappointing. Pep Guardiola will be pissed because they did enough to win this game. They should have won this game by halftime. Yeah. And it was down to that first opportunity. That's how Manchester City usually start. They start early, quick, remind you that they are in town. Then they level things out. Even after 1-0, they had enough chances to kill it off. But credit to Aston Villa. Their setup was perfect for this kind of game. I always said it. That's why I was happy that they sacked Scott Parker. Because if you have inferior players and you are going against the big boys, you don't go toe-to-toe with them.
Yeah.
You remain as compact as possible and pick your opportunities. And that's what he did, so kudos to Aston Villa.
So Aston Villa, sticking to the script of small teams when they play big teams, it worked for them brilliantly. I'm sure Gerrard, his sackment, if I can use that word, has been postponed by a couple more game weeks. So let's see how it goes. Let's move our attention now to Spain. The Spanish La Liga happened over the weekend. Real Madrid were up against Real Betis. We are going to do back-to-back highlights, and then we'll come in studio to discuss. Barcelona were also up against Sevilla. I believe that game was at the Sanchez-Pizjuan. Welcome back here in studio. Let me start off with you, Daniel. Real Madrid beating Betis by 2-1. Ancelotti's new look Real Madrid. It's a perfect run for them so far. A lot of people expected them to struggle, especially after missing out on Mbappe. But what has impressed you the most about what they've done this campaign?
He's tweaked a couple of positions, but it's still the same Real Madrid. Championship mentality.
Yeah.
They come out into games, you can see their clear game plan. And they are not faced when one or two things don't go their way. You just know. It's one of those things that it reminds me of Real Madrid.
Real Madrid reminds you of Real Madrid.
You just know they will score. Yeah. Like, you just know.
The game is not over until the game is over.
They are so efficient, and he's built the team around the front too, in Vinicius and Benzema. And he's playing the game. The system suits their strengths, and it's just perfect. I like the way Tchouaméni has entered as CDM role so seamless. He's like Casemiro never left. And that's why I like Real Madrid. When they buy the young guys, they put the trust in them. We saw Rodrigo coming almost immediately. He was doing good. Yes, it took Vinicius a couple of seasons before he started cementing himself. But they give you the opportunities. And I'm happy for Tchouaméni. He's not just... And I think he's... In terms of profile, he's sort of an improvement on Casemiro. His ball handling is a bit better than Casemiro. And
technically better, actually.
Technically, but you can see that this guy, in the next 2-3 seasons, he'll cement himself as the best CDM.
Just two more questions before I move on to coach. First of all, can you say, from what you've seen from Vinicius, that Real Madrid have a bona fide superstar on their hands and should focus more on making him as big as possible? Probably forget about Mbappe. And Tchouaméni, I mean, he's limiting Camavinga's opportunities. How does Real Madrid strike a balance between those two youngsters? Because those are two very talented individuals.
For Vinicius, I think it's on a branding level. And I think he himself needs to take control of that. Because if you look at his performances this season, everybody knows that he's one of the most important players in this Real Madrid team. After Benzema is him, as it stands. And these things will take time. I think Mbappe has been branded nicely as a package, a global superstar. And I think, look, if you are talking about ability, I don't see why Vinicius cannot get to that level. For Tchouaméni, I think they play two different positions. Because yesterday you saw Modric, in fact, Tchouaméni, Modric, and Camavinga playing. And I like how it's almost like Modric is now playing what Kroos used to play, that control.
And then Camavinga
is allowed to move around. Tchouaméni
he's left-footed too, so he gives you a different dimension.
Different dimension. And he's so good in terms of driving into space. He's somebody that modern football, there are not a lot of Camavingas out there, players in his profile.
Literally do everything.
Everything. He's a good tackler. He has a good eye for a pass. But his ability to carry the ball and drive through players, his dribbling ability is also very good. So I think Real Madrid, and that is a team that sits down, thinks and plans. You can tell from Casemiro, Modric, Kroos, they've brought in these new recruits who offer same balance, but different styles, but is still getting the same results, and it's credit to them.
Coach, let's talk about Barcelona. They beat Sevilla 3-0. Xavi looks like he's settled down. They didn't finish last season too well. This season, he's opted for the Spanish midfield, like we like to call it. So Busquets in there, the ever-young Busquets, Gavi, and Pedri. Now, Frankie de Jong and Frank Kessie are not getting into the team. Team is still winning comfortably. Are they in trouble?
They are in trouble. They are in trouble because, look, we know this, the way these foreign coaches do their things. He knows that he's had a chat with Luis Enrique.
Yeah.
And the Spanish midfield is those three boys.
You mean it's the Kudus type situation again?
It's as simple as that. And and above all, they are delivering. That is the most important thing.
Yeah.
They are not being favored.
Yeah.
They merit the position. They merit the role in the team. So they are delivering. And this is Xavi's team now. It is looking more like Xavi's team. And if you look at the way they go about their business, look, I can't wait for their Clásico.
You mean this year's Clasico will be spicy?
Will be very, very spicy.
Bombastic.
And I think, exactly, that's the word. and I think, I fancy Barcelona to win this league.
Why though?
Because I think Real Madrid are short in that Benzema position.
The finishing role.
We saw last year that they were able to manage him. He didn't stay long on the injury list. The game he actually got injured, they took Ayoko 4 from Barcelona. You remember that game, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is a World Cup here. How old is Benzema now? 34?
33, 34.
34. So he's gotten to the stage where you need to manage him. Assuming he were to get injured, do they have another number 9?
They typically play Rodrigo as a sort of a finisher in number 9, but he's naturally a right winger.
That is what I'm saying. And I think that, you see, yes, Barcelona have sold Aubameyang, but there is still Memphis Depay.
I mean, Real Madrid don't have enough cover up
They
front.
don't have enough cover up front. And I think it is going to come down because with Lewandowski, whatever Benzema guarantees here, Lewandowski will do the same here. So they cancel each other out. Now it will come down to the squad players. How many, apart from Vinicius Juniors,
how many differentiators?
these Real Madrid players, they are not scoring as many goals.
Hazard is there.
Oh, come on.
Charlie, let's not do this.
He's
Don't spoil the conversation.
You understand? He's completely gone. But while in the case of Barcelona, Dembele now looks reborn. He's in the form of his life.
And he's staying fit.
He's staying fit. There's Rafinha. And then Gavi,
Pedri, Ferran Torres, who Barcelona fans are beginning to
forget about.
They say he's their own version of McTominay.
So I think in terms of depth, I fancy Barcelona to go and win the league.
Let me read a message here now. It's a very interesting message. So I didn't know coach was called Trapattoni back in the day. They said, so it says, please, what coach said, Egba Egbu literally means come what may.
Yeah, come
what may.
There's no other
He says,
result.
greetings to my coach. Into parentheses, it says, Coach Trapattoni, as he was called back then. He coached me for 2 years in the early 2000s at Catchford, UCC. And I must admit that as young as he was then, his tactics are spot on. Oh, Charlie.
Trapattoni.
It has never been in doubt.
Oh,
it has never.
You mean the tactics have never been in doubt?
You see, football enough here, my name. You see, our game is highly compromised. I've always said that I would love to do that on a daily basis. Thank God I have my educational background that I use to take care of myself and my family. But this is my passion.
You would love to coach.
This is my passion. But you know me. You don't compromise me.
Interesting Thursday. Let me read a few more messages. Right here says, it's an interesting message. He says, Nana Kofi from Tamale says, Daniel is deep. I like his analysis, but he looks shy.
Is he serious?
He said Daniel is shy.
He said Daniel be deep. He liked the analysis.
But he's shy.
But Daniel, they look shy.
He doesn't know Daniel. He doesn't know the man.
But the Mendy thing, dear, it has to be a foul. The guy should have jumped better. He says, shout out to coach.
I can't believe this.
The guy should have jumped
He's
better.
a Chelsea fan.
They say you people said somebody should have cut their hair. So this one too, he should have jumped better.
You see, what they are refusing to accept is that Chelsea didn't concede from the head pool.
Yes, you see, they are intentionally ignoring the explanation.
See, when the guy pulled Cucurella's hair, the corner kick was retaken. In other words, that didn't lead to the goal. So why are you crying? You should go and cut his hair and concentrate on football.
Let's move on to the Italian Serie A. There was a Milan derby this weekend. Coming up on top, Rafael Leao literally putting the whole world on notice. Welcome back. Let me take your thoughts on this, Daniel. Rafael Leao literally was the differentiator in this game. That second goal was out of nothing.
I think he's the best player in the Serie A as it stands. He's the best. He's last season's MVP. This season he started a bit slow, but this is what the superstars do. The biggest
Turn up
game,
on the biggest occasions.
He's put it on himself. Let me show you how it's done.
He's put it on my back. Let me carry you to the promised land.
What the second goal? What a goal! What a goal! It's not. It starts with my guy. He was very underrated when he was in the Premier League. But when it comes to link-up play, there is nobody in the last 15 years better than Olivier Giroud in terms of link-up play. The back heel to set, and you see, it landed right in front of Rafael Leao, where his positioning was face to face with the defender. Now it's down to skill.
First start takes three defenders out of the equation.
He Gajo. Once he gave it to him, he was round him. As simple as that. And the composure to finish past the keeper. And that is what some of the good players lack. After you do all that,
finish the
chance. Yeah. Composure, technique, finish it. Excellent. And I'm worried for Inter Milan because in terms of squad depth, they have the best squad in the league. But there's something wrong with the coaching. Inzaghi is good. He did very good at Lazio. But you can't lose the league last season with the squad he has and start this season the manner in which he started with the squad he has. It's unforgivable. They are by far, in terms of player quality, better than everybody. But there's just something wrong with this Inter Milan team. I feel... I think he tried to continue with what Conte was doing. It's not working. He should just play his game because this team feels a bit too restricted for me. And when they are going for it, they seem to be laboring. When you look at the attacking quality they have, it should be free-flowing. It should be easy for them. You look at the game against Lazio, it was very similar. They were completely outplayed, outpossessed. They just looked like they were laboring throughout the whole game. And again, against Milan, even after taking the lead, you could just tell that Milan were one goal away from sparking and getting back into the action. For Milan, Pioli he's on a fantastic project. You can see that he's not been given the best of material, but they've done their scouting so well. Yeah, look, they've done their scouting so well. They've brought in the right players, and they are getting the results. It's a perfect record, and they will continue like this.
Coach, you said you fancy Inter to win the league. This was a game where they should have shown their championship credentials. They fell short. Just wrap it up for us.
I think it's back-to-back defeat,
Yeah.
Against Liga and against AC Milan. And I think these are your rivals. You cannot be...
These are your biggest games.
Yeah, man. You have to try and get something out of that. So they go and whip the young boys and then go and win the league. But look, like Koranteng rightly said, I think there's a problem with the coaching. I think tactically they are being restricted to too many. And the absence of Romelu Lukaku was felt. Because for Dzeko, his legs are gone. You need to play the ball to him directly. If you put the ball into space, he will impounce. And the two centre-back of AC Milan, the boy from Chelsea that was sold for 25, Tomori, and the other boy, I think he's from Brazil as well. They've got this telepathic understanding about themselves. That
they just started playing together.
Yes, just last season, but they look so solid as a pair. When I'm going and look, the goalkeeper, what's his name? Manuel. Magnan.
Yeah.
Boy, my goodness,
his reflexes are crazy.
They would have said to themselves,
big, tall guy.
If only we knew the Italian number one,
Donnarumma,
he should have been long gone. Look at this boy. They've not missed Donnarumma.
If France are being honest with themselves, Magnan should be their World Cup goalkeeper.
He should be their number one.
No, he should not.
Look, he's kicking. He's
Loris should do what Loris does best.
As usual.
That's what he wins the World Cup. That's what Loris does best.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So look, AC Milan as defending champions, they've laid down their mark. They've made it perfectly clear that they will not relinquish their title on the silver platter. If you want the title of them,
work for it.
You need to work for it.
Well, let's finish off with Serena Williams. We barely have any more time left, but she has finally hung up the racket. She said she's done. 23 singles Grand Slams. She's a GOAT, when it comes to women's tennis. And I think she's one of the greatest athletes, actually, of all time. Even out of the tennis arena. Daniel, just quick thoughts on Serena as she bows out of the game.
Yeah, remarkable career. 23 Grand Slam titles. There's somebody with 24 Margaret Court. So it would be a bit unfair to call her the GOAT in tennis when somebody has more Grand Slams than her. But without a doubt,
doubles and everything comes in.
One of the greatest of all time, by far.
You won't call her the GOAT.
I like tangibles. Margaret Court played, Serena played. Margaret Court had 24, Serena has 23. If Margaret Court fans will not deem it fair for you to call Serena the GOAT.
You call Cristiano Ronaldo the GOAT. He's got only 5 Ballon d'Or.
He scored more goals than anybody.
No, but somebody has 7 Ballon d'Or.
It's down to tangibles.
And the tangible is
when you add everything she's achieved, it outstrips Margaret Court.
Yes, so maybe overall, but in terms of tennis singles, which we are talking about, I don't think she's... But look, she's a fantastic, remarkable athlete. It's what I admire about her is how long she's remained.
27 years.
Yeah, and you see, she's remained relevant in all those 27 years. It's crazy. Extremely difficult.
That is crazy.
Extremely difficult to do when the people you started with are retiring, but you are still winning major championships against the people who are supposed to be the mainstays in every single generation. She's huge. She's huge, and congrats to her.
Yeah, for me, I'm going to miss everything about her. Yeah. I'm going to miss her game. I'm going to miss her phenotypic appearance, the beauty and the Coca-Cola
swag.
nature of her body. I'm
Actually.
going to mix because look, when you watch Serena play, you don't only watch her play because of her table tennis exploit. You admire her because of the way she looks. I'm a man.
She brings the fashion statements
Of course, I'm a man, and I was born to see. You understand what I'm saying?
It's okay.
And I
It's-
saw.
it's
And
okay. It's
are you
okay.
not going to miss that?
It's okay.
No, be honest. Are you not going to miss that?
It's okay.
Are you not going to miss that?
No, I will not miss
Huh?
that.
You
I
will
will
miss
not
that. Serena, no more. Serena, much oh, who are you, Charlie?
That's it from us here. My name is Benjamin Nketsia. I heard Coach Christopher Nimley and Daniel Koranteng speaking there. You know where to find us next week, same time here on Citi TV Scorecard. We'll be right back here.